ॐ यां मेधां देवगणाः पितरश्चोपासते तया मामद्य मेधयाग्ने मेधाविनं कुरु। नमः सभायै सभापतिभ्यश्च अयि भोः मान्याः, अद्य गुरुपूर्णिमा दिनोत्सवः। अस्माकं गुरून् विश्वगुरून् पुल्लेल श्रीरामचन्द्र महाभागान् संस्मरन्तः व्याख्यानम् आयोजयामः। तत्र व्याख्यानं प्रस्तोतुम् अत्र उपस्थिताः सन्ति प्राचार्याः के नीलकण्ठन् महोदयाः, अनन्तरं अस्य सत्रस्य अध्यक्षाः के नीलकण्ठन् महाभागाः। मुख्य अतिथिरूपेण उपस्थिता अस्ति प्राचार्या शिशिरेखा महोदया। नीलकण्ठन् महोदयस्य धर्मपत्नी श्रीदेवी च अन्य श्रोतारश्च अत्र उपस्थिताः सन्ति। तेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः अपि अहं स्वागतं व्याहरामि। अनन्तरं कार्यक्रमस्य आरम्भं वयं मङ्गलश्लोकेन कुर्मः। वैदिकमङ्गलाचरणम् आचरति शर्म महाभागः।
हरिः ओम्। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
अथ लौकिकमङ्गलाचरणम् आचरितुम् अहं मंजीरा महाभागं प्रार्थयामि।
मुनिवर विकसित कविवर विलसित मंजुल मंजूषा सुंदर सुरभाषा अयि मातस्तव पोषण क्षमता मम वचनातीता सुंदर सुरभाषा मुनिवर विकसित कविवर विलसित मंजुल मंजूषा सुंदर सुरभाषा वेद व्यास वाल्मीकि मुनीनां कालिदास बाणादि कवीनां वेद व्यास वाल्मीकि मुनीनां कालिदास बाणादि कवीनां पौराणिक सामान्य गुरूणां जीवनस्य आशा सुंदर सुरभाषा श्रुति सुख निनदे सकल प्रमोदे स्मृति हित वरदे सरस विनोदे गतिमति प्रेरक काव्य विशारदे तव संस्कृति रेशा सुंदर सुरभाषा नवरस रुचिरालंकृति धारा वेद विषय वेदांत विचार वैद्य व्योम शास्त्रादि विहार विजयते धरायां सुंदर सुरभाषा मुनिवर विकसित कविवर विलसित मंजुल मंजूषा सुंदर सुरभाषा अयि मातस्तव पोषण क्षमता मम वचनातीता सुंदर सुरभाषा सुंदर सुरभाषा। धन्यवाद।
साधु साधु मंजीरा महोदय, अद्य व्यासपूर्णिमा तो संदर्भानुकूलं गीतं प्रस्तूय अस्मान् तोषितवती, धन्यवादः। अधुना व्यासस्तुतिं प्रस्तौति नरेन्द्र सारथि वर्यः। नरेन्द्र सारथि महोदय, स्वागतं ते।
न दृश्यते
नरेन्द्र सारथि
न दृश्यते। अग्रे चलतु।
अस्तु महोदय, अधुना अध्यक्ष भाषणं तदनन्तरं व्याख्यानं भवति। व्याख्यानात् पूर्वम् अहं व्याख्यातॄणां परिचयं करोमि महोदय। भवतां
प्रथमं तावत् व्याख्यातॄणां परिचयं करोतु।
अस्तु महोदय। अद्य श्रीरामचन्द्रवर्याणां व्याख्यान स्मृतिव्याख्यानम् आयोज्यते। व्याख्यानं प्रस्तोतुम् अत्र समुपस्थिताः सन्ति डॉक्टर CM नीलकण्ठन् महोदयाः। तेषां संक्षिप्तं परिचयं प्रस्तौमि। He was born in 1952. He was a teacher in Sanskrit Sahitya at Government Sanskrit College, Pattambi, for 19 years. After that, he worked as reader and professor in Sahitya, in charge of Vedic studies at Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kaladi, for 17 years. On retirement, continued there as publication director. He served at a Kerala Kalamandalam deemed to be University for Art and Culture, Cherusuruthi, Thrissur district, Kerala, for 3 years as academic director. And he was author, editor, co-editor of several books in Sanskrit, English, Malayalam on Vedic studies, Sanskrit criticism, Indian culture, etc. He is a recipient of many state, national level awards and recognitions. And he was a member, chairman, secretary of various cultural bodies and academic committees in universities in and outside Kerala and in government organizations. He was coordinator and coordinating many state level, national level, international level seminars and workshops. He carried out and also carrying out various academic projects like cataloging of manuscripts of Kerala, along with Professor Ashok Aklushkar, British Columbia University, Canada. He performed or did audio video documentation of complete Jaimaniya Samaveda of Kerala tradition for 95 hours for Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Kaladi, and Kadavallur Anyonyam, a traditional Vedic recitation competition preserved in Kerala for Vedic portal IGNCA, New Delhi. And he was a supervisor and also supervising at present many MPhil PhD students. He almost from Vaishnava publications, he brought out more than 6 works, and in Sanskrit 13 works, in English 12 works, and in Malayalam 15 works. If I read out all those titles of the books, time won't be sufficient. That's why Sankshiptenaiva Nelakanthan Mahabhaganam Parichayam Prastuya Viramami. Adhuna Adhyaksha Bhashanaya Asmakam Nideshakan Nelakanthan Mahabhagan Prarthaye.
धन्या असि वरलक्ष्मी। सर्वप्रथमं सर्वान् अहम् अभ्यर्थये म्यूट् मध्ये तिष्ठन्तु इति। अत्र विघ्नः भवति।
आं कृतवान् अन्म्यूट् कृत्वा संभाषणं। नीलकण्ठ महोदय अन्म्यूट् करोतु।
हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषम् पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिम्। व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। न्यायं व्याकरणाद्वैततत्त्वज्ञं विबुधाग्रणिम् न्यायं व्याकरणाद्वैततत्त्वज्ञं अद्वैततत्त्वज्ञं विबुधाग्रणिम् काव्यशास्त्रविदां श्रेष्ठं धर्मशास्त्रार्थकोविदम् व्याख्यानचतुरं प्राज्ञं पद्मश्री बिरुदान्वितं व्याख्यानचतुरं प्राज्ञं पद्मश्री बिरुदान्वितं उल्लेलान्वयसं रामचन्द्रं भजे रामचन्द्रगुरुं भजे। सर्वेभ्यः नमांसि। अद्य अस्माकं गुरुचरणानां पद्मश्रिया विभूषितानाम् आचार्याणां महामहोपाध्याय पुल्लेल श्रीरामचन्द्रुडु महोदयानां स्मृतिव्याख्यानं दातुम् अत्र प्रस्थिताः वर्तन्ते आन्लैन् माध्यमेन आचार्याः नीलकण्ठन् महाशयाः। तेभ्यः मुख्यातिथिरूपेण अत्र अस्माकम् आह्वानम् आदृत्य सम्प्राप्ता अस्ति आचार्य शशिरेखा। एवञ्च अस्माकम् आह्वानम् अङ्गीकृत्य अनेके पण्डिताः अत्र सम्प्राप्ताः। सर्वेभ्यः नमांसि। भवन्तः सर्वे जानन्ति, मन्मथ नाम संवत्सरे अधिक आषाढ़ शुद्ध अष्टमी बुधवासरे 24/6/2015 तमे दिनाङ्के अस्माकं गुरुचरणाः शिवैक्यं प्राप्तवन्तः। तान् उद्दिश्य बहु वक्तव्यं भवति, किन्तु समयं मनसि स्थापयित्वा अधिकं न ब्रवीमि। भवन्तः जानन्ति एव, प्रायः 180 ग्रन्थान् ते रचितवन्तः। यदा ते मद्रास् ओरियेण्टल् कलाशालायां साहित्यशास्त्रस्य अध्ययनं कुर्वन्ति स्म, तस्मिन्नेव समये तत्रस्थाः गुरवः अस्माकम् आचार्यान् एवं सम्बोधितवन्तः इति अस्माकं गुरुपादाः एव स्वयं वदन्ति स्म यत् श्रीरामचन्द्रुडु त्वम् आलङ्कारिक चक्रवर्ती असि इति। तत् आलङ्कारिक चक्रवर्तित्वं ते अस्माकं कृते ददर्शुः। किमर्थमिति चेत् कुन्तकस्य वक्रोक्तजीवितम् आरभ्य प्रायः काव्यशास्त्रे साहित्यशास्त्रे 14 ग्रन्थानां कृते बालानन्दिनी व्याख्यां कृतवन्तः। तदनन्तरं रसस्य विषये रसो वैसः इति कञ्चन महा अलङ्कारशास्त्रचरित्र इति बृहत्तमं ग्रन्थं विनिर्मिमुः। एवं किं वा वच्मि, ते तु आलङ्कारिकचक्रवर्ती एव, न केवलम् आलङ्कारिकचक्रवर्ती। इदानीम् एव मम श्लोकेन भवन्तः श्रुतवन्तः न्याय व्याकरण अद्वैत इत्यादि अनेकेषु शास्त्रेषु ते सुप्रसिद्धाः। एवञ्च कौण्डिन्यस्मृतिं लिखित्वा स्मृतिकारेषु स्थानम् अलभन्त ते। एवं वदामि चेत् नैके विषयाः वर्तन्ते, किन्तु केवलम् एकं व्यक्तिगतं विषयम् अनुभवम् उक्त्वा विरमामि निमेषद्वये। यदा वयं MA कक्षायाम् आस्म 1982 तमे वर्षे, आचार्याणाम् अध्यक्षवे अस्माभिः विद्यार्थिभिः छात्रैः अभिज्ञानशाकुन्तलं नाम नाटकं प्रदर्शितं। ते एव डैरेक्टर् आसन्। तपोनिधिः सः महानुभावः सर्वम् अपि स्वरचनाम् इत्यादिकं सर्वम् अपि एकत्र कृत्वा प्रायः एकमासपर्यन्तं सुरभारती समितौ अस्माकं कृते दर्शकत्वं कृतवन्तः। एवं एवं कर्तव्यम् इति। एतत् सर्वं किमर्थं वदामि इत्युक्ते, न जाने अहं यः कोऽपि छात्रः तादृशं सौभाग्यं प्राप्तवान् वा न जाने, किन्तु अहं तत् प्राप्तवान् यत् तस्य शाकुन्तलनाटकस्य प्रदर्शनसन्दर्भे तत्र भवन्ति किल, प्रथमाङ्कस्य अन्ते यदा प्रथमाङ्कः समाप्तः तदा झटिति धावन्तः मत् समीपम् आगत्य मम अत्यन्त प्रेम्णा आलिलिङ्गुः ते। तत् अहम् अनुक्षणं स्मरामि। तत् सौभाग्यं। तादृशाः महानुभावाः केवलं ते एव अत्र हेतुः अहमत्र उपविशामि इत्युक्ते न सन्देहः। तादृशाणां गुरुवर्याणां स्मारकोपन्यासं प्रदातुम् अत्र आगताः अस्माकम् अभ्यर्थनाम् अङ्गीकृत्य आचार्याः नीलकण्ठन् वर्याः तानहम् अभ्यर्थये ध्वनिशास्त्रमुद्दिश्य अस्मान् सम्बोधयन्तु इति। धन्यवादाः। नीलकण्ठन् वर्याः आगच्छन्तु। अनम्यूट कुर्वन्तु नीलकण्ठन् महाशयाः, अनम्यूट। न अभवत् अनम्यूट।
Okay.
Yes, इदानीं सम्यक्।
Shall I start? Okay, everything?
Yes. Now you can, sir.
I am very happy to be with all of you on this auspicious occasion of the memorial lecture delivered in the memory of the great Guru, Vishwaguru, as Varalakshmi has explained, and Dr. Nelakanthan, director, has eulogized, has remembered, has such reminiscences regarding the Guru. He are with all of us. Pranams to the great Guru, very erudite scholar in Alankara Shastra and other Shastras in Sanskrit, a great teacher, a writer, and pranams to Dr. Nelakanthan, director of the Sanskrit Academy, Varalakshmi, my friend, close friend. She has been to Kerala for many seminars and other academic gatherings. Pranams to Varalakshmi, and another very intimate friend, Shashirekha, and other scholars attending the lecture. Pranams to all. This is Guru Purnima Day. So we have to salute our great Gurus. And on the Guru Purnima day, the lecture on remembering Pulleli Sri Ramachandralu, Padma Shri Pulleli Ramachandralu, that lecture is also organized on this Guru Purnima day. So it is a matter of great delight. It is the memory of these great gurus that actually lead us, and their utterance of their name, Mahadam Samstava Eva Gavaravaya. Just remembering them, just uttering their names even gives us energy. In all places in Kerala also, in Tamil, in all places of our country, we have such great gurus who are leading, who are giving us energy in these endeavors, in such endeavors to work on academics, research, and Sanskrit culture, Sanskrit tradition, etc. So it is a very happy occasion to me also. And I extend my sincere thanks to all my friends who has given me an opportunity to be with all of you on this auspicious occasion. I am directed to speak on the Dhunya Loka, because Alangara Shastra was one very important or very close field that the great scholar Ramachandrulu also nourished. So I will be speaking or presenting some points on Dhunya Loka. As all the scholars here are present are very well versed in the text, in the general aspects of the text. I will not be going on such aspects that are generally well known. I will focus on some points that I have worked and that I think will be discussed in the academic gathering. Well, my own special interest in this topic or in Dhunya Loka is that some of you may know, or many of you may know, recently I have edited Dhunya Loka with 2 new unpublished commentaries on Lochana. 2 new unpublished commentaries on Lochana. That publication has appeared in 2012. That publication has appeared in 2012 from Center for Heritage Studies, 2010, from Center for Heritage Studies, Hill Palace, Tripunitura, Kochi, Kerala. Center for Heritage Studies is a cultural department under the government of Kerala, and it is situated in it is working in the former palace, now preserved as cultural heritage, former palace of Cochin kings, who were great scholars and poets and promoters of Sanskrit and tradition. So already Dhunya Loka, many publications have come on Dhunya Loka. I have in front of me a very elaborate research paper based on the subject. I will not read all the matters there. simply present some important points. First notice of manuscripts of Dhanyaloka was announced by Buchler, G. Buchler. Everyone knows, the great scholar from Germany who worked for the preservation and discovering and preservation of manuscripts. In 1877, Buchler was the scholar who first announced the notice of the manuscripts of Dhanyaloka. In 1877, he announced this discovery in his detailed report on a tour in search of Sanskrit manuscripts. Then after that, the text was first published in the famous Kavyamala series everyone knows. Kavyamala series by Nirnaya Sagar Press, Bombay in 1890. So it is from 1877 onwards only that we get the knowledge of the manuscript and the text of Dhanyaloka. Even before Dhanya, the content of Dhanyaloka and the Dhani theory and the many thoughts related to Dhani theory, we are all conversant. We all scholars know these things. But in the notice of the manuscript and the editing and other things, presenting it as a text, etc., that appeared in 1890 only. Then in 1920, the first text was first completely translated into German by German Jacobi. Professor Ramapisharudi, he is a great scholar from Kerala. Professor K. Ramapisharudi began to publish English translation of both text of Dhanyaloka and Lochana in the old volumes of Indian thought from Allahabad. But it is found stopped abruptly. So these are the first attempts. Then subsequently, some publications of Dhanyaloka text, independent publications appeared in 1937, 38, etc. in Sanskrit. But the most important publication of Dhanyaloka appeared in 1940 from Kashi Sanskrit series, Benares, now Chaukamba Sanskrit Vidya Bhavan. Chaukamba Sanskrit series. It is in 1940. In that text, it was a comprehensive edition, whole Dhanyaloka, with to an extent critical edition, not fully in the sense critical edition, but to an extent it is Samshodhita Prasiddhikarana. And the whole text is there, and the whole Lochana commentary is there for the four Udyotas. And another most important aspect of the edition is that the commentary Balapriya from Kerala by Sahridaya Tilakan K. Ramapisharadi for the whole four Udyotas. It is also included in the Kashi edition 1940. Ramapisharadi was a great scholar. He has contributed many commentaries, commentarial literature commentaries to important Sanskrit works like Narayaniyam of Mepatur Narayana Bhattadiri, Shagundala, a commentary jointly written by Ramapisharadi and Parikshit Maharaj, the great scholar and ruler of Cochin royal family. Then Ramapisharadi's commentary on Kulayananda is available. His commentary on Malavyagnimitra is available. His commentary on Dasharupaga, it is recorded somewhere, but the original commentary is not available now. So he has written the Balapriya commentary on the complete 4 Udyavadas of Dhanyaloka, Lochana. So the commentary Dhanyaloka, Lochana, Balapriya with very elaborate notes and indices and studies of great scholars of that time at Kashi. This publication was a remarkable publication on Dhanyaloka. So this is the first most important publication. Then after that, in 1944, Kuppaswamy Shastri, Research Institute, Madras, everyone knows Kuppaswamy Shastri, great scholar. He edited Dhanyaloka, Lochana, and Balapriya, and a commentary on Lochana from again Kerala. Balapriya is for the 4 Udyavadas, but this particular commentary, Kaumudi of Udayottunga, or otherwise called Uttungodaya, is a great scholar from Kerala of the royal family near Guruvayur, and he has written Sandeshagavya's commentary on Dharmashastra, etc. So Kuppaswamy Shastri's edition in 1944 on Dhanyaloka, first Udyavada with Lochana and Kaumudi commentary of Uttungodaya or Udayottunga. Kaumudi commentary is available for the first Udyavada only. As far as we know now, there may be manuscripts of other Udyavadas, commentary of other 2, 3, 4 Udyavadas of Lochana also by Uttungodaya or Udaya. We can say Udaya, but we have to search it further. There are so many manuscripts even now, undetected, unattended in Kerala and other manuscript libraries. So we have to, young researchers can work on that, and there is possibility of getting the manuscripts of the Kaumudi commentary on Lochana for other Udyavadas also. So it is in 1944. Then we have the name of great stalwart, Dr. K. Krishnamurthy from Dharwad, who is a authoritative scholar on Dhanyaloka. And he worked on Dhanyaloka. His PhD was on Dhanyaloka, and it is said that he took his PhD on Dhanyaloka at about the age of 23, just after MA, immediately after his MA. Very great scholar, Dr. K. Krishnamurthy from Dharwad. His most important contribution to Dhanyaloka studies is the critical edition of Dhanyaloka with the introduction, English translation and notes. First, putting that text for English scholars. Very important edition in 1974. This edition is important, very important in 2 ways. First of all, Krishnamurthy has presented the text with the most possibly correct and dependable readings. This is more regarding the critical, regarding the science of editing and the critical editing, etc. This is an improved edition compared to that of the edition of Kashi edition in 1940, because Krishnamurthy was a great research scholar also. So it is, Krishnamurthy has presented the text with the most possibly correct and dependable readings, collating a number of manuscripts of the text that he could collect at that time. Then the text is, the edition is also important as it contains a critical study on the text and an English translation. English translation of the text, comprehensive, good English translation of the text, critical study in English, then improved edition, improved readings. That is very important related to this edition. Krishnamurti has brought out such a serious edition on Vakrokti Jivita also. Krishnamurti was very familiar or very favorite on the study of Vakrokti Jivita also. So this is next 1940. We can landmarks in the editions of Dunya Loga. We can say 1940, then 74. Then Dunya Loga with a Sanskrit commentary Ujjivani by a Kerala scholar, Professor Nelakanthan Shastri, who left us about 20 years before. It was published from University of Kerala, Trivandrum in 1981. The text with the Sanskrit commentary Deepika by Chandika Prasad, another commentary on Dunya Loga. Text with the Sanskrit commentary Deepika by one Chandika Prasad was published from Varanasi in 1989. These are independent commentaries. Then we have also the Dithiti commentary. Apart from Lojana, independent commentaries on Dunya Loga are very rare in Sanskrit. Then the most important, we have to make mention of there are many English and Hindi translations and notes on Dunya Loga. I am not listing. I have listed here. I am not reading all by B. Bhattacharya, published from Firma K.L. Mukhopadhyaya, Calcutta, first Udyoda in 1956, second Udyoda in 1957. Then many Hindi translations have appeared along with the one Ramasagar Tripathi, published from Motilal Banarsi Das in 1933, Acharya Vishweshwara, Siddhanta Shiromani, and another Acharya Jagannatha Pathak. Many editions with Hindi commentaries and studies, very important. We all use it in our colleges and universities for teaching and studying and doing research in Dunya Loga. Then next landmark in the edition of Dunya Loga is the edition of Dunya Loga with Lochana, not the Sanskrit text. Dunya Loga with Lochana has been translated into English by Professor Daniel Ingalls, J.F. Mason, and M.V. Patwardhan, and published from Harvard University Press, Cambridge in 1990. This is a very important edition and a reliable translation of the text and Lochana in English. Right? Krishnamurti has brought out the translation of the text, but perhaps this is the first comprehensive translation, complete translation of the complete Lochana into English. This is a very important edition, appeared in 1990 and published from Harvard University, Cambridge. Also, this edition contains a scholarly introduction, about 50 pages, and critical notes. And another significant aspect of this edition is that in the last part of the edition, there is a list of more than 500 words, padas of Dunya Loga and the Lochana, the correct readings of which have been suggested. More improved readings have been suggested based on the Kashi edition on Dunya Loga and Lochana. This is a very interesting part of the edition, and I have gone through that part very curiously. The Kashi edition is almost comprehensive, but Ingalls, Patwardhan and Mason, the combined joint edition, they have suggested more improved readings on some words, padas of Dhunyaloka and Lochana, based on the Kashi edition. Improved readings have been suggested, of course, based on some manuscripts, surely. About 500 words. Researchers can have a thorough study on the readings of Dhunyaloka and Lochana based on the suggestions of Mason, Ingalls, Mason and Patwardhan in this edition. This particular part suggesting the improved readings is valuable for the students and scholars who want to conduct further study and research in the field. Then another important aspect of this edition, always the Westerners do much work in this aspect, in these aspects. There is a comprehensive bibliography of books and studies in the end of this edition. They have listed, which also is very important. Then after that, it is in 1990. Myself has brought out a new edition of Dhunyaloka with Lochana, Balapriya of K. Ramaprasarudi, Kaumudi of Uttungodaya or Udyotunga. These are the three Dhunyaloka, Lochana and Kaumudi on Lochana that is available. And we could, a team, not only myself, a team of scholars with me, could detect other two undiscovered commentaries in manuscripts on Lochana by Kerala scholars. They are Anjana commentary. The name of the commentary is there, but the name of the author is not recorded. So Anjana by anonymous authorship. And commentary of a great scholar, Dasharathi, the name of the commentary is not recorded. So we call Anjana commentary and Dasharathi's commentary. So the manuscripts of these two commentaries could be located in the massive libraries of Trivandrum, Oriental Massive Library, Tripunithura Sanskrit College Massive Library, Madras Oriental Massive Library. And we, a team of scholars, myself and my students and now professors working in different colleges, Dr. Udaya Kumar, Dr. Vijay Kumar, and some research assistants, we brought out an edition of Dhunyaloka with Lochana, Balapriya, Kaumudi, Anjana, and Dasharathi. That is in 2010, I have referred to from Center for Heritage Studies, Tripunithura. So this edition, the most interesting or important aspect that we come across is that on Lochana, commentaries are available from Kerala only as far as we know, not from any other region. On Dhunyaloka, Lochana we have, then Didhiti, Sanskrit commentary, Didhiti we have, then from Kerala itself, Ujjini we have, then I have referred to Deepika by Chandika Prasad, recent commentary. So on Dhunyaloka we have commentaries from Kerala, Ujjini, and including Lochana, 2 or 3 commentaries from other parts. But on Lochana, we get commentaries from Kerala only. Maybe the commentaries in other written by scholars in other parts of other regions also, it has to be searched more and located at present condition. So the edition has 2 volumes, elaborate volumes. First volume contains both about 500 pages in the 500 pages. First volume contains Dhunyaloka, Lochana, Balapriya, Anjanam, Dasharathi of the first Udyoda. And the second volume contains Dhunyaloka, Lochana and Balapriya, because Kaumudi, Anjana and Dasharathi are now available for the first Udyoda only. So Dhunyaloka, Lochana, Balapriya for second, third and fourth Udyodas all included in the second volume. So this is a very important, this is a recent edition and publication, and we have included the important notes of earlier scholars recorded in the Kashi edition, very important. We have mentioned, taken important aspects from the Ingalls edition, and all recorded there wherever it is, wherever they are necessary for the research scholars. And those who want to do further research. So this is the general survey of the. What I am stressing here is that there are possibilities for more research regarding the procuring or locating of the commentaries on Dhunyaloka and the Lochana from Kerala and from other parts of India, which will bring more light to the readings of the text, then studies on the text, etc. Dr. Krishnamurti himself has suggested or referred to a manuscript on the first Udyoda of Dhunyaloka, commentary on Lochana, which is apart from all the four commentaries on Lochana I have referred to, Balapriya, Kaumudi, Anjana, Dasharathi. There is a very important article of Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti was a great researcher and scholar. And actually, when we were editing our edition, our Dhunyaloka text, and there is a clue. There is a clue from Krishnamurti's statement that the manuscript of that particular commentary is in Mysore Oriental Manuscript Library. Actually, one professor of our team, Dr. Udaya Kumar, went to Oriental Manuscript Library and verified all the manuscripts there, and he could also locate the particular manuscript that Krishnamurti was referring. According to Krishnamurti, he says that it is by a Kerala author, one Desamangalate Rama Warrior, but it is not sure. Anyhow, the manuscript was located, but it was so brittle, so old, so sticky, leaves cannot be separated, very brittle, cannot be reading of the manuscript was very difficult, impossible to an extent. So we have just referred to such a manuscript or such a commentary. Again, fifth commentary, Balapriya, Kaumudi, Anjanam, Dasharathi, fifth, we can say, on the video. But even now, I used to tell my research scholars that the manuscript found at Mysore Oriental Manuscript Library, it was brittle. But there may be manuscripts of the same commentary or similar other commentaries in all over. There are so many manuscript depositories in India, in Kerala itself, in all regions, in the south. So the manuscript research is very challenging, very difficult. That requires high scholarship, patience, intelligence, readiness to take endurance, everything. Anyhow, these are some informations regarding the commentaries recently located and included in the edition, and that we get some information, but which could not be located. We could be located, but could not be brought out, and regarding other other commentaries also. Then I will with the remaining time, I will go to some of the most salient aspects of Dhunyaloka in our history of Sanskrit Alankara Shastra. Anandavardhana was the first writer in poetics to establish the language of poetry. I am giving the particular terminology from the modern field of criticism, that language of poetry. Anandavardhana was the first scholar who established the language of poetry in Sanskrit literary criticism. What is meant by language of poetry? We have language of Vyavahara Bhasha, language, ordinary language for communication. Then we have Shastra language. And in the modern time, we have the press media language. But poetry has a language of its own, which is entirely different from all these languages. Ordinary language, press media language, which is recently developed, or language of the Shastra text. Anandavardhana distinguishes between the two well-known usages of language in ordinary discourses that is accepted generally at that time and even in the present time. They are, as all of us know, primary meaning and secondary meaning, Abhidha and Lakshana. Abhidha and Lakshana. The first level of meaning, according to Anandavardhana, is characterized by Vachyartha, Sanketitartha, and the second by secondary meaning, which is called Lakshana or Gunibhuta Artha, Aropita Artha, Abhidha Puchabhuta Lakshana. In so many terms, Mimamsakas, Vayagaranas, and Nayayikas and all other Shastra teachers deal with these two levels of meaning. And Abhinavagupta gives the name for the first time, the name Bhakti for this secondary meaning. So Bhaktamahustamanye, very famous. So these are the two levels of meaning, primary and secondary, we can say, or Abhidha and Lakshana. Lakshana variously discussed in all texts, even in the Sahitya texts like Kavi Prakasha, very elaborately discussed. But Anandavardhana establishes in Dhunyaloka. So, or his text Dhunyaloka is written for establishing that poetry starts from these two levels of meaning. Poetry, Sahitya, that starts from these two levels of meaning. After or over Abhidha or Lakshana, based on Abhidha or Lakshana, the literary meanings, poetic meanings start. So both these are irrelevant with regard to poetry. These two are irrelevant with regard to poetry. They are insignificant with regard to poetry. So poetic language actually means the language not related to ordinary communication or communicating Shastra topics or in the modern situation, what we call press or media. So poetry starts from these two levels of meaning and does not stop there, because according to Shastragaras, Mimamsakas, and Nayayikas and Vayagaranas, language stops in the secondary meaning only. No further extension of meaning they allow to the language generally. Even Mimamsakas have gone to the extent of Talparyartha, and that there are two schools in Talparyartha, Bhattamata and Prabhagaramata. One is Anvida Abhidhanavada and Abhihita Anvayavada. In both, Talparyartha is accepted, but that also an extension of either the primary meaning, Abhihita Anvayavada, or the extension, both in the Abhihita Anvayavada and Anvaya Abhidhanavada. Both, it is the extension of primary meaning only, no further scope of the poetic levels of meaning in poetry and in poetic works are not accepted or hinted or included in the Talparyartha of Mimamsakas also in any way. So Anandavardhana says that I have written the third meaning, which is unique and inclusive, and the Anandavardhana gives the name Dhvani or Vyanjana to the third level of meaning. Abhida, Lakshana, Vyanjana or Dhvani. If we accept Talparya Artha and Talparya Vyapara according to the one school of Mimamsakas, then Dhvani or Vyanjana is the fourth level of meaning. Abhida, Talparyam, Talparyanubhavatau Lakshana, then Vyanjana. Anyatha, Abhida, Lakshana, Vyanjana. Third. In this scheme, Abhida, Talparyam, Lakshana, Vyanjana. So, Dhvani is apart or independent from all these levels of meaning of Vyavaharika and Shastra communication. And this particular aspect of the language of poetry was not discussed or explored or stressed by the scholars in the proper way before Anandavardhana. So Anandavardhana's attempt, now we speak of language of poetry in many ways, very elaborately. Western criticism also accepts this particular level of meaning. So the base for all discussions, Eastern and Western, ancient and modern, in poetry, related to the language of poetry or the different higher levels or aesthetic levels of meaning in poetry, is established by Anandavardhana in Dhvanyaloka. Thus, for the first time, Anandavardhana establishes through Dhvani theory that poetry has a language of its own. His and the whole endeavor of Dhvanyaloka for Udyodas, his intention is to establish this Dhvanya Bhavavada Khandana, Dhvani Sthapana in both ways, Vyanjana, Vyangya Rupataya, Vyanjana Rupataya, second Udyoda, Evam Dhvane Swarupam, Vyangya Parataya, Nirupya, Atha, Tritiyo Udyoda, Evam Arabhyade, Atha Vyanjana Parataya, 5 meanings of Dhvani. Dhvanyade asau artha iti dhvanihi, dhvanyati asmad arthal artha iti dhvanihi, dhvanyati asmal shabdad artha iti dhvanihi, dhvananam vyaparaha dhvanihi, Dhvani Kavya Vishesha. In this scheme, Anandavardhana has divided the four Udyodas. First, Abhavada Khandana. Second, Udyoda. Dhvanyate Asau Artha. Vingya Paradaya. Dhvanehe Pradarshanam. Second Udyode. Third Udyode. Dhvanati Asmal Shabdad Arthaha. Dhvanati Asmad Arthad Arthaha. Both. And Dhvananam Vyavaraha is the third Udyoda elaborately in the last part, Sanghadana Nirupanam, and refuting the theories of other Nayayikas, Vaiyagaranas, Mimamsakas, all other the theories. They have tried to include Dhvani in Abhida, some Shastrakaras, in Lakshana, some Shastrakaras, in Talparya. Refuting all this in the third Udyoda, elaborately he discusses Dhvananam Vyaparaha. And in the fourth Udyoda, Dhvani Kavya Vishesha. Dhvani is ultimately poetry itself, giving the example of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So, the first Udyoda is devoted for the refutation of the theories that do not accept the third or fourth level of meaning, Dhvani. The theories of the opponents are generally, everyone knows, classified into three: Abhavavada, Bhaktavada, and Anirvachaniyavada. And their arguments are refuted in the first Udyoda. In the second Udyoda, Dhvani is established on the Dhvanyate Asau Artha, Iri, Vengya Paradaya. In the third Udyoda, Vyanjana Paradaya. And again in the third Udyoda, in the second part, most important part of third Udyoda, Anandavardhana establishes Dhvani or Vyanjana at length, criticizing the theories of Mimamsakas, Nayayikas, etc. And the different schools also among them. Their Sanghadana Nirupanam, etc. are very important. So, this is the most important contribution, establishing the language of poetry in for the first time through Dhvanyalok. And after that, establishing the language of poetry, Anandavardhana elaborately discusses the multitudes, many dimensions, multitudes of the suggestive elements in poetry. This is very important. The most important karika, Anuswanopamal Mapi Prabhedoya Udahrida Dhvanerasya Prabandheshu Bhasate Sopi Keshuchits Supting Vachana Sambandhaihi Tatha Karaka Shaktibi Kritadhita Samasaischa Dyotyaha Alakshakrama Kuhil. Some Lakshakrama Vingya, some Abhidam Muladhunihi, Lakshana Muladhunihi, then Abhidam Lakshana Muladhunihi, Arthandra Sangramita Vachya, Atyanta Tiriskruta Vachya, then Abhidam Muladhuni, some Lakshakrama, some Lakshakrama is Rasabhava, Tada Bhasa, Bhava Shandhyadi, Akrama. Rasa Bhava, Rasa Bhasa, Bhavodaya, Bhava Sandhi, Bhava Shantihi, Bhava Shabalima. All these types of Dhvani has many dimensions. So in the modern criticism, we say that poetry has two dimensions, or two aspects of suggestion. One is Rupa Bhadrata, what we call the diction, the style, diction, the words that are used, the vritta, the metrics that are used in the poetry. All these Rupa Bhahya Ghatakas. For example, Mandakranda, for pangs of separation in Meghasandesha, Viraha Vipralambha, Mandakranda, Viyogini, etc. Sraghara, Shardula Vikridam, etc. for Veera, Albhuda, Raudra, then Prithvi Shikharini, etc. Bhavabhuta Shikharini for the mental conflicts for Rama, Bhavabhuti, Bhavabhuta Shikharini, it is very important. So all these things, then what we call Ridi, Gaudi, all these are related to the emotional element or the rasa theory. So all these are in the what we call the Rupa Bhadrata. Then the Bhava, again, another most important, the emotional rasa aspect. So all these things are discussed in the second, third Udyodas of Dhunyaloka. And I have given so many examples with me, but to explain all those, there is no time. In the Sankhadana Nirupana, it is very important in the third Udyoda. Topics like relation between Guna and Sankhadana. By the word Sankhadana, Anandavardhana collectively means diction of poetry in general. Diction, Rachana Ritihi in general. That will include Riti, Vritti, Prasa, Anuprasa, then Vritti, Riti, Anuprasa, then Chandas. All these things that will include Sankhadana. And Sankhadana is related to Kavya Gunas, Slasha Prasada, Samada, etc. All these points. Then position of Gunas in the poetry, role of Sankhadana in the suggestion of meanings. And it is wonderful that in the discussion of Sankhadana, long discussion, elaborate discussion, Anandavardhana reaches the point that Aujityam Tan Niyamagam, a very, very beautiful or very important statement. Aujityam Tan Niyamagam. These are all things that can be theoretically presented. But for a poet, he has a Aujitya. Aujityam, all these are controlled by the Aujitya, propriety in the bhavana of the poet. That is how Kalidasa, Vyasa, Valmiki, etc. are praised or are accepted as Vishwa Kavis. So this is a great thing. It's a culmination, what we call the most important level of the treatment or discussion of the poetry of language. And in that level, Aujityam Tam Niyamagam, we may be wonderstruck to see that Kalidasa, who has introduced for the first time this so-called Mandakranta meter in the Rupaghadana in Maghasandesha to describe the pangs of separation. He introduces the same Mandakranta. Perhaps Shashirekha will be knowing all these things. Same Mandakranta in Shagundala for the fierce, for the coming of a fierce element in the second act. Same Mandakranta. We will not at all feel that it is Mandakranta there. It is actually Mandakranta. Tivraghata Pratihata Tarus Kandha Degnaigadanda. Kastil Kanda Virahavuruna Swadhika Alpramatta. Tivraghata Pratihata Tarus Kandha Degnaigadanda. Pada Krishta Vratati Valaya Sanga Sajjata Pasha. Murto Vignas Tapasa. Ivano Vinnasaranga Yutha. Dharmaranyam Pravishadi Gaja. Syamdanaloka Pita. It is the coming of a fierce elephant, intoxicated fierce element. So Raudra or Bhayanaka Rasa is depicted there. Kalidasa, poets like Kalidasa, who is well versed in the language of poetry that we can say. Great poets. They can surpass all these Shastra concepts also regarding the language of poetry. That is also suggested or explained by Anandavardhana in one way or other. So they are above all these things. And these are the levels of suggestive meaning. Dhvani. Here, the theory that is discussed in the concluding portion of Sankhadana Nirupana of third Udyoda, Aujityam tam niyamakam. Aujityam tam niyamakam. There are so many examples in Dhunyaloka related to all this. Then in the other thing, what we say, the Rupa Bhadrata, then Bhava Bhadrata. It is elaborately discussed in the Dhvanir Varna Padadishu Vakye Sankhadnayam cha Saprabandhepi Deepyate. Very important. Nyakaro Hyayameva Varna Padadishu Nyakaro Hyayameva Me Yadaraya Varna Pada Dvayamgadam Sampradishojani Yatam Samagama Prarthanaya Pinagina Kapalina. It is a reading. Why Kalidasa did not use Pinagina? The word, the padam is suggestive. Dhvanir Varna Padadishu Vakye Sankhadhanayam cha. Sankhadana, that is the combination of words and sentences. That is Mandakranda. When Sanghadita, when it is Sanghadita in a particular way in Meghandesha, it explains Viraha Vipralamba. Same Mandakranda, when it is Sankhadita in another way in Shagundala, it conveys Bhayanaka and Veera or Vibhalsa or whatever it may be. Very important observations. And so, Dhvanir Varna Padadishu Vakya Sankhadnayam cha. Then Pragarana, Prabandha. It is for Pragarana a very beautiful example. These are all applicable to any poetic descriptions of the modern poets in any languages, modern languages of our region or foreign language, English, etc., Iliad, Shakespeare, all we can correlate with these things. For Pragarana Vingya, Pragaranasya Vinjakatvam, Anandavardhana gives the famous the Gridhra Gomayu Sambhada in Mahabharata, Shanti Parva. It is a description of a scene in the cemetery where the dead body of a small boy is brought for cremation by the parents. A small kid, very beautiful, energetic young kid of 5 or 6 years age, he was dead. And his family, relatives, parents and relatives bring that body to the cemetery for cremation in the evening twilight. Then, reaching there, a vulture, Giridhra, and a jackal, Gomayu, who are there already, they appear they appear before these parents and the relatives, and they begin to speak as a well-wishers and friends of the parents and advise them in different ways. One says that vulture is Gridhra. Vulture says that who is more powerful and active during the daytime? Vulture is more powerful and active. He can act only in the daytime. And he wants to eat the dead body after sunset only. After sunset, before sunset, before dark is coming, while the jackal, Gomayu, he can eat for him, eating the dead body, flesh of the dead body is easy in the night. So both advise the parents in different ways. When we hear their words, we will feel that it is great Vedanta, great Advaita Vedanta. But actually, Vedanta, there is Udara Vedanta only. They want to eat the body. So for that, they are advocating many in the Vedanta or in two ways, different ways. Alam sthitva smashanesmin Gridhra Gomayu Sankule Kankale Bahule Gore Sarva Prani Bhayangare Najeha Jivida Kastil Kala Dharmam Upagata Priyova Yadiva Dveshya Praninam Gedi Idrishi. Vulture says, you don't wait here more. You just leave him and go away, because no one can give him life again, because he wants to eat the body before sunset. But the jackal, Gomayu, Adityoyam Sthido Mudha, the sun is even there, sunset is yet to come. Some miracle may happen and the boy may get life again. So you please wait here till the sunset. And the Gomayu, jackals, trick only is that they must wait there till sunset and they must return after sunset. Then Gomayu will not come here. Sorry, Gridhra will not come there. Gomayu can eat the body very well. But the final meaning, suggestive meaning of this, that both are advocating philosophy in different ways, but their philosophy is to eat the body only. This is a suggested meaning, Prakarana Vingya. So in this way, yes, Dvalakshakrama Vingya, Dhvanir Varna Padadishu, Vakye Sankharnayamcha, Saprabandhe Pidipyate, all this. And the Saprabandha, so Dhvani, suggested meaning in the whole text, that is established or explained in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ramayane Karunorasa, Mahabharate Shantorasa. So this is another most important element, aspect of this Dhvani theory in Dhvanyaloka is that Anandavardhana gives a synthesis of all the schools of literary criticism, culminating in the Dhvani theory. There is 8 schools of literary criticism, as we call in Sanskrit: Rasa, Dhvani, Alangara, Riti, then Vakrokti, Anumana, Aujitya. So among these 5, Rasa, Dhvani, Guna, Alangara, and Riti. Rasa, Dhvani, Guna, Alangara, and Riti are treated as pro-Dhvani schools, and Aujitya, Vakrokti, and Anumana are treated as anti-Dhvani, refuting Dhvani in one way or other. But all the theories that refute Dhvani also accept the cardinal principles of literary criticism and aesthetics and appreciation in one way or other. Anyhow, but outwardly, we can see that they are refuting Dhvani, the other accepting Dhvani. Anandavardhana very skillfully synthesizes all these schools of Dhvani, schools of literary criticism in Sanskrit, in the Dhvani theory in one way or other, very beautifully, very aesthetically, very skillfully. And there is, scholars may know, Kuppuswami Shastri. I have referred to Kuppuswami Shastri earlier, who edited Dhvanyaloka with a Lojana and Kaumudi commentary from Kerala on first Udyata of Lojana in 1944. His works are complete works of Kuppuswami Shastri. He was a great scholar in Tamil Nadu who has done much work for the enrichment of Sanskrit, its Shastras, in education, its acceptance, etc. Like we have in Kerala, Punisheri, Nelakanthan Sharma, every place such scholars are there in the earlier decades of 90s and just before that. And in the complete works of Kuppuswami Shastri, there is a monograph Very important. Highways and byways of Indian literary criticism. The name of the article, the name of the research article is Highways and Byways of Indian literary criticism. Very beautifully explains that Dhwani and its divisions. Dhwani and its divisions. Abhidhamula, Lakshanamula Dhwani, in that Arthandra Sangramit Dhwani, Atyanta Sanskruta Dhwani, then Abhidhamula Dhwani, Vastu Dhwani, Alangar Dhwani, Rasad, all these. Highways, these are highways. And all the byways of literary criticism, like Guna, Didi, Vakrokri, Anumana, Aujitya, Sanghadana, Vritti, Ridi, whatever schools of literary criticism has appeared before Dhwani, all these culminate, synthesize, reach the highway that is Dhwani theory. So Dhwani and its divisions are the highways of Indian literary criticism, Sanskrit literary criticism, and all other schools are the byways. What is the special feature of byways? All the byways are finally reaching the highway in one way or other. Byways, all byways reach in the highway in one way or other. So this is interfusion of other schools of literary criticism in Sanskrit in the Dhwani. Other thing. Then 1 or 2 points I will discuss, and I will. It is 12:30 already, and the time is up to 12:30. I will conclude it within 5 minutes. Then another important aspect of Dhwani theory is that Anandavardhana embraces different traditions of Indian literature. We cannot say that it is Sanskrit literature. A very important aspect. Now, in the cultural studies, in the field of cultural studies in the modern time, we use the word elite and folk traditions. I may be correct. In some decades before, even Sanskrit and non-Sanskrit we used to use. High edition, low tradition we used to use. But now all these such names we reject, because all are equally important. There is no point in saying calling one tradition great and one tradition not great, or one tradition high or one tradition low, and one tradition Sanskrit and one tradition non-Sanskrit. Also there is no meaning, because in Sanskrit tradition, influence of non-Sanskrit traditions are seen. In Sanskrit tradition in Kerala, I have many examples. The Tamil literature, Tamil Vyakarana, Tamil art, Tamil theatre concepts have influenced the Sanskrit theatre. So now we call that, but it is very evident that there are two parallel traditions in our history of culture. That's so we can now term them as elite and folk tradition. Another most important significance of Dhwanyaloka is that by explaining the various divisions of Dhwani with examples, Anandavardhana treats both the so-called elite and folk traditions in poetry with equal importance. This is very particular aspect. Verses and passages from classical Sanskrit works like Ramayana, Mahabharata, works of Kalidasa, Ratnavali of Harsha, Veni Samhara of Bhattanarayana, Amaruka Shataka, Harshajarida Bhanabhatta are profusely quoted in Dhwanyaloka. But it is interesting that with equal importance, Anandavardhana quotes examples from Prakrit tradition. Very important, particularly Hala Saptashati or Gatha Saptashati of Hala, where it is in the 7th century AD. and this representation of Prakrit tradition, where the beautiful, Gramina, natural, unsophisticated love and other emotions are described very beautifully in the Hala Saptashari. The most significant example for the establishing of Vyanjana Vyapara in Dhanyaloka is from Prakrit Hala Saptashari. Brahma Dhammika Visabdho. We always Brahmadharmika Visrabdha. It is from Gatha Saptashari. So many examples from Gatha Saptashari. So he synthesizes this very beautifully, this elite and folk traditions, which are very important. Only a great thinker or a great scholar with vision and mission can do this particular thing in his theories and observations. So these are some important points that I have in mind to present before this August scholarly assembly. And I conclude here. It is enough time now. And I once again express my sincere thanks to the Sanskrit Academy and its director, joint director, deputy director, and all others. All are my friends and great scholars who are present here. Thank you. Can I mute for some time?
धन्यवादाः धन्यवादाः महान् प्रमोदः